Topaz Gigapixel version 8 here, and I'm upscaling this image that I got from pexels.com, a free photo, royalty-free photo website. So I've got this dimensions, or the original image size, of 640 by 960, so fairly low res. And I'm going to go to the upscale factor in the top right corner. We start from the top right corner and work down. So we've got the upscale value here. Now I'm going to do 4 times for this, just for an arbitrary kind of good general upscale value. And we're going to just move the face more into the view here. And then I'm going to go down to past the dimensions. I don't want to use fixed dimensions on this. Now the base models. Now the basic model choice here, for anything photographic like this, is an actual photo. So for anything photographic and reasonably good starting quality, even if it is quite low res, I wouldn't rule out standard or high fidelity. So for these, I often choose the AB compare tool, which is this button here, this little AB, and this lets you choose up to 4 different models to compare at the same time. So I always think it's worth choosing standard and high fidelity for anything that's a reasonable resolution to start with, that looks good quality. But for something like this that was a little bit lower res and it's got a little bit more, let's say some problems and artifacts potentially, it's worth throwing the low res in there as well. Click compare, and we're going to bring it up in our split screen view here, where we've got the standard model result in the top left, the high fidelity model result in the bottom left, and the low resolution model result in the main screen on the right. So let's just drag these down so we're getting sort of into the face detail here, and let me just give it a second for these all to update. Right, I've got all the settings at 0, like the lowest setting at the moment, which is 1 for the separate adjustments, and I just want to look at what the base model is doing to this upscale and this detail. So I'm looking at things like skin texture on this as usual, anything like beard hair, any kind of facial hair, anything that would be a fine textural detail in the image, and I'm just looking at what the different models are doing to that. So if I look around the cheek area and around the sort of the beard area here, I'm looking at standard versus high fidelity at first. It's easier to compare two and decide which one you like out of those, and then compare that to the other model. So out of these two, I would say that high fidelity is better for the skin, because standard V2 has got some differential kind of texture going on here that doesn't really make any sense. Neither of them look great because the original image was quite low res, but also it just wasn't the best quality image. But out of these two, overall, I prefer high fidelity V2, although certain areas like the teeth look a bit more messed up, but I'm not going to worry about that because hopefully I'm going to use face recovery soon to fix these problems. And then I'll look at high fidelity V2 versus low resolution, so we can close the one we don't need anymore. Standard V2, we'll click that and say go away. So now we're looking at high fidelity V2 versus low resolution V2. And again, I'm just comparing. I'm not going to spend too much time on this stage, just because we are going to be using, hopefully, face recovery mode on this to just even out some details and things like that. But I gotta say, it's a swings and roundabouts. So look at the teeth. Let me magnify this, zoom in a bit more. If you look at the teeth, once the previews updates, on the high fidelity version on the left hand side, you've got this strange striping sort of texture on the teeth, which looks very odd. But then on the low resolution model on the right hand side, you can see that that is all but gone. Right? And also there's some strange lines on the nose that aren't there in the low resolution model. But then on the low resolution model, you do have some strange texture on the skin, like on the right hand side here, you've got this almost like repeating pattern on the cheek of the skin. Let me put that in the middle of the frame so you can see it where I move my mouse. Now it almost looks like you've gone in with the clone tool in Photopea or Photoshop or something and kind of, done a bad job of repeating it. But at the end of the day, you gotta sort of think to yourself, which is the closest starting point. And I would say for now, low resolution V2 is a better starting point. So I'm going to just click that and click the apply model button. This just updates it as the main preview. It doesn't actually apply anything yet. I'm just going to take the magnification here back to 100%. So let's look at our image now. So we've got the low res version of the low res model applied, which had taken care of some compression artifacts automatically without us having to use the fixed compression slider at all. Now, before I go down to the model settings, I'm actually going to bypass these temporarily because I'm going to see if we can get some better results with the face recovery tool, or at least some good results on the face recovery tool to start with, and then actually apply some adjustments afterwards as a next step if we feel necessary. I'm not going to bother to select faces to recover because there's only one face which is automatically recognised. The version of the face recovery I'm on Gen 2 because it's just, I've played around, it just gives slightly better results. There's not a huge difference between them, but it's always worth trying both if you want to test them out. Mode, realistic or creative. Well, I'm going to go realistic because this is based more on reality of a photograph. You know, here we go. Realistic mode retains the highest fidelity of the original image, and creative mode takes more liberties. So if you've got, the way I'd see this is more severity. If you've got a really severe distortion of the face, then maybe choose creative mode and allow it to be a little bit more lenient on how it changes the face. But it won't change it much. You'll hopefully just fix it. I'm on realistic mode anyway. Now, face recovery strength 1. I'm going to turn it up quite high at first just to see what it's doing to the image. And then once I understand what it's doing to the image, I can then dial it down accordingly. So I'm going to take it right up to 100, which is obviously not advised because it's going to make everything probably super smooth. And okay, so I'm just seeing which area of the images it's doing. So it's attacking, it's trying to even out and smooth the texture of the skin. It's fixing the edges on the teeth and things like that. If I turn face recovery off now, I'll let it update the preview a bit there. So face recovery off and on. When we look at this preview, it's definitely evening textures out and making things look smoother. But this is where we now want to drop the strength of the face recovery. I just like to do that to see what areas it's affecting and to what extent. So with something like this, I might drop it down to, you know, around half, maybe less, and just judge it on there. And if we hold down our left mouse button on the main image, we'll get a preview of the before and after. So this is the completely unprocessed, unupscaled image. And I'll let go. And there's the version that's been processed by Topaz Gigapixel. And of course, you can come to your split screen preview mode with the plus button down here, and we can drag the vertical split between the before and after, or we can have the side by side, which I actually prefer most of the time. I think it's just more practical. But you've got to let your previews update on here and let it go. So I think for me, I'm going to go back to the main screen preview, and I'm just going to try maybe adding a little bit of sharpness to this image. So I'm going to go back to the sharpen slider. Now I'm happy with the face recovery level on this. I'm going back to the sharpen, and I'm just going to add some increased sharpness to this. Wait for it, it's going to process that, and then it's going to process the face recovery. Now I don't want to go too far in this because I don't want it to stop bringing out any kind of strange artifacts. Like if I turn this to 100, just to show you, you'll see that it's bringing out some unnatural texture and patterns in the skin here around the cheek, which is an area that we had a little bit of a problem with earlier. Whereas I find if you're just a little bit more subtle with the sharpening, you can kind of avoid highlighting those strange texture patterns that maybe remain in the skin from the face recovery or the actual processing itself.